Let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen a ghost? A ghost in real life? A ghost in flesh and blood? Well, let me tell you something. I have. 4 years ago, I ran into something intriguing. Something out of this world. But in this world, I came across a network of death fakers, of death faking celebrities that obviously saw something in Hollywood, something that they did not like, something that they did not agree with. The genius behind these death fakers, faking their deaths and creating platforms, viral platforms like InfoWars, like AMTV. What if I was to tell you that Brandon Lee never died, that Brandon Lee goes under another identity now, that Brandon Lee is speaking against the Illuminati, that Brandon Lee is you, just another ordinary person trying to make a difference, trying to warn you because of what he saw in Hollywood. What if I was to tell you that Brandon Lee is right in front of your face? So back to the question, have you ever seen a ghost? Well, I've got some news for you. I'm about to show you a real life ghost. The ghost of Brandon Lee. Now, pay attention. What do you see? Just another ordinary white man, right? Blonde hair, white, looking like he's from good old America. Doesn't look like he's interested in being a Hollywood actor. Well, what if I was to tell you that the person that you're looking at happens to be Brandon Lee? Would you believe me? Well, of course not. That's the whole point of faking your death. When I talk about death fakers, I tell people, death fakers are not going to look the same as they once were, because that defeats the whole purpose. But luckily for you, I have experience with uncovering this network of death fakers who promote each other through thick and thin, right in front of your faces. So, you still don't believe me that this man that you're looking at right now is Brandon Lee? I've got news for you. Let's show you a real life ghost. As you can see, Brandon Lee had two prominent birthmarks on the right side of his face, under his eye. As you get older, those birthmarks go further apart, but not drastically. Let's look at him today as Christopher Green. That's the first time I've thrown out that name on this video. As you can see, he still has the same birthmarks. But you're saying, wow, that's dumb, that's just a coincidence. No, but before we show you more evidence, let's teach you why death fakers add ridges to their noses. But wait, hold up. Since we're on this picture, let's also show you how, while investigating a death faker, you have to pay attention to detail. Like, let's say, an outline of a beard, and if they have patches on a beard. As you can see, Brandon Lee to the right, and today as Christopher Green, the same hairline, the same missing patches of hair. Now, as I've mentioned in previous videos, if you take a look at Mark Dice is River Phoenix, Undeniable Facts, you will see that I outline and explain why death fakers add ridges to their noses to drastically change their appearances. And if you haven't seen that video, I'm going to explain right now. A death faker will add ridges to their noses to throw off their appearance. Take Jennifer Grey, the superstar, the actress from Dirty Dancing. She had the ridge taken off of her nose, and this created another person. And what happened to her career? It came crashing down because nobody recognized her and nobody wanted to cast her. Putting a ridge onto your nose drastically changes your appearance, and this is a tactic that death fakers undertake to drastically change their appearances. Now that you have seen what adding a ridge to a nose does to someone's appearance, let's show you how Brandon Lee still has the same scars on top of his lip, the left side, and also show you how he has the same mole, or as they call it in Hollywood, same beauty mark. As you can see, as Brandon Lee to the left and as Christopher Green on the right, you can still see he has the same scars in the same exact area with the same exact beauty mark. Now, let's show you the obvious. Do you see what I see? You don't yet? So let me explain. When investigating a death faker, they can never change their skull dimension. So, are you seeing the same skull on supposedly a different man? No, you're seeing the same skull on the same person. The only difference now, Brandon Lee went under the knife and shaved off some of his chin. I know it sounds stupid and crazy, but that's what he did. But you can still see it still has the same shape. So pay attention. Do you see anything else that's similar? I know you do now. Let's take a look at his eyebrows. Same eyebrows. Let's take a look at his hairline. Same hairline. Let's take a look at his ears. Same ears. Now, while investigating Brandon Lee, he barely did anything to change his appearance. All he did was add a ridge to his nose, shave down his chin a little, and dye his hair. And if you do your own investigations, you'll see where he forgets to dye his hair once in a while. And you can see his natural black hair. In my opinion, Brandon Lee has been one of the few death fakers that have flown under the radar. Why, you ask? Because he's not as big as, let's say, a Mark Dice or Alex Jones. Because you see, when investigating a death faker, they start off like me and you. Just making videos, getting on webcam or whatever, having a public access TV show, and then slowly making their way up to the big time, to a studio, getting all professional, etc. Because they help each other, they promote each other, and in most cases, they still have connections in Hollywood. And some Hollywood platforms will plug them on purpose to build them up. And if you're wondering if these death fakers are working for the CIA, I don't know. But I do know that they believe in what they're talking about. So when you hear Christopher Green, Mark Dice, Alex Jones, etc. talk about how bad the Illuminati is, how bad Hollywood is, they know what they're talking about. Another thing you have to pay attention when it comes to a death faker or potential death faker, you have to look at their teeth. In most cases, they still have the same set of teeth. Some of them have veneers, etc. But if you're lucky, you will hit it out the ballpark. And you will identify them easily by looking at their teeth. I uncovered Brandon Lee being Christopher Green about almost 4 years ago. Christopher Green immediately made a video where he woke up in the middle of the night, literally, and made a video where he panicked. Maybe he thought I was COINTELPRO or something. Maybe he thought somebody was coming to get him. Who knows? But we're part of a truth movement. Even if I come across as a douchebag, as trying to expose people, no, I'm in it for the truth. I've always been interested in the unknown, unsolved mysteries, etc. And this is what interests me. So, when I expose death fakers or whatever, I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm just trying to seek the truth. I'm just trying to uncover something that I stumbled upon. I didn't choose to stumble upon this. It just happened. So I want to make this clear. I'm not trying to disrespect the fans of these people. I'm not trying to disrespect these people that I'm talking about. I'm just making videos. I'm just writing articles because I find it interesting. Because, like I said, I stumbled on this, and I think now I have a duty to show it to the world. So now that you have seen the evidence presented in this video, I want you to go out now and do your own research. I know it's a common theme to say when you go to a researcher's channel or website or whatever, when they tell you, go research it yourself. No, I want you to really research it. I want you to go out, find HD photos, find HD videos, etc., and do your own investigation. And you will see what I've presented in this video to be 100% facts. And if they're not facts, then they have to come up with a new scientific term that explains that there's literally clones of people out there that happen to all be accused of being death fakers and knowing each other and being exact copies of that person. And no, they're not clones. I'm just being sarcastic. Now that you have seen the evidence, now that you know Brandon Lee is Christopher Green, will you support him now in what he's doing? Obviously, he hates Hollywood. Obviously, he's out there being a political activist. Wouldn't you want to support a person like that, even if he wasn't Brandon Lee? But today is your lucky day. I have good news for you. He is Brandon Lee, and this is what he's doing today. And if you're asking the question, why was he allowed to fake his death? Who knows? Maybe you could help me. Maybe you could help me uncover why these people are allowed to fake their deaths. One reason is having a stage name, and the other is having money. So, you thought the crow died? You have no idea how deep the rabbit hole really goes.